The most anticipated show of your week.
That's true.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Keep It a Buck Podcast. What's going on, good people? Welcome back to another episode of the Keep It a Buck Podcast. I am your humble and gracious host, Felipe Santiago. And as always, sitting across from me is your boy E.
Bad guy.
What's going on, E?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Not too much.
Episode
13. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Episode 13, getting it started. Before we start, I want to say we're live right now on 2 different platforms.
Okay.
So whenever people come in, we're going to be reading their comments as we're going along.
Okay.
So, yeah, without spending too much time on that, what you got going on, bro?
Man, like I was talking about on the last episode, I still got those videos going on. I got my first music video coming up pretty soon. New artist coming up. Album about to drop pretty soon. Kevin the Boy. Cat from Atlanta. Living in Arkansas.
Is he really from Atlanta? Or does
He's from Atlanta.
Okay. Or does he have just that Atlanta sound like I was
No. He's from Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he doesn't sound like he's from Atlanta, but
Well, that's
you
probably
know what I'm saying? He sound like
us.
yeah.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
But
yeah, he dope, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll let you hear a little bit. Or maybe we can play some of his music, you know, like in between before we finish this one.
We can work something out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do a shout out real quick. Shout out to my girl Kathleen. Her last day of working with us is Friday.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, Friday's our last day, and today was my last day working with her. So shout out to Kathleen. It's been a pleasure working with you, getting to know you as a person. I know you're gonna do big things when you go out to Denver. Keep going.
Yeah, I want to send a shout out to her too, man, because you know she's I'm gonna say she is like our second
biggest fan.
biggest supporter.
True that.
You know, so
Yeah.
So that's cool. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, man.
I hope you was on here too. You know what I'm saying?
So
Watching us.
Oh yeah, she was a few episodes ago when we were on IG. She was on there.
She was on there?
Yeah, she was on there and she was looking at us. And after we ended that one, she went back and watched all of them.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
listen to all their
Actually,
podcasts.
she told me that the second day the next day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, yeah, that night she went back and watched.
Yeah. She said her and her sister or her sister-in-law or something like that.
I don't know.
It was somebody she said she put on, and she was like, they was like talking about the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
And they listened to every episode. So, you know, that was pretty cool.
It was.
Yeah.
So yeah, good luck out there in Denver, Colorado.
For sure.
I know you're gonna do exactly what you do at our job here, which is make everybody look good.
Yeah. Only thing about Colorado, man, it gets cold over there.
Yeah, it gets hot and it gets really cold.
It gets really cold.
Yeah.
Like when it snow, it snow.
Like nonstop.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta say it twice. Snow, for real.
Oh, it's snow here.
It's snow over here.
Yeah, that's
You know what I'm saying?
So she's got a topic that she wants us to talk about one day, and I really want to talk about it. It's not gonna be today.
Yeah, I know. We got to study on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta educate myself on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and for everybody who want to know what we're talking about sexuality.
Yeah, it was there was a video that we watched, and it was very interesting to say the least. So this is the Keep It a Buck podcast. We're gonna keep it a buck.
We're gonna keep it a buck.
We're gonna talk about it because it's stuff people don't want to talk about.
Man, shout out to everybody who listened to the podcast, man, for real.
Oh yeah.
Like, I appreciate y'all for supporting us. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to everybody here on these platforms who are watching us live. We appreciate
Matter of fact,
y'all.
Cheers to everybody. I drink my favorite drink, chocolate milk.
Thought we said we weren't gonna do this.
Hey, man. I had to, man. I had to.
You drinking chocolate milk? I'm sitting here drinking the Dr. Pepper. But whatever.
That's what I'm talking about. Got to get the juices flowing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, got to. So one of the things that I want to talk about today is when is it appropriate to have certain conversations? Like with this being our platform, we talk about whatever we want because we can.
Exactly.
But depending on, and I'll give you a few scenarios.
Okay.
When is it okay to have that conversation, or how do you have that conversation, or pull someone aside to be able to have this certain conversation? Like scenario number one, if you're at work and someone walks up to you and they got a bad attitude and you're trying to figure out what could be wrong with them, how do you approach that situation correctly in your eyes?
To me, first of all, you have to humble yourself.
Off top.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you just come at anybody with an aggressive energy, you know, you're going to get aggressive back. You know
That's
what I'm
true.
saying? So first you have to humble yourself, and you have to kind of, you know, slowly approach the person into where that person can get comfortable with you, and then you'll be able to talk to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you do that, I think you're able to, you know, start the conversation and trying to, you know, calm that person down, let the person, you know, see that you're not coming with no bad intentions and stuff like that. So once you do that, pretty much the conversation is on.
So I love the fact that you said you have to humble yourself first.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times when people are trying to help others, it comes off as this person thinks they're better than me and I need them to say something to me to help me to the person that they're approaching. And then they go off on them or say something that they normally wouldn't say, and then it becomes a problem because that person wasn't ready to take in that information of them lashing out at them
At that time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I think it's crazy because a while back I put on this this front for years that everything was okay with me and all this other stuff, you know, but secretly I had things going on that were bugging me all the time. And
are we talking about the job or?
No, this is
This is just personal
back.
stuff.
Yeah, it's
like
personal stuff way
Okay.
back. And I took it upon myself to make a Facebook status.
Yeah.
And instead of saying, oh, this is what's wrong with people, or this is why I don't do this, or this is why I don't do that, instead of lashing out at things that were upsetting me at that time, I put myself on Front Street.
Okay.
I told everyone, I was like, I wear a mask every day. None of you even know. I'm not perfect. And then I started listing off things that no one knew or probably even should have known about myself.
Okay.
To humanize myself. To give anyone who wanted to be able to say something to me, like, okay, or if I was going to say something to another person, I call myself out first. Like if I'm about to say, as someone's boss, I'll walk up to him and I'm like, hey, look, I mess up every day. So yesterday I didn't put a label on this or whatever. I give an example of me messing up.
Okay.
And then I go and say, look, next time do it this way. We all make mistakes. It's build, break, build. I bring myself down first to show
Right.
I'm not above you. We still doing the same thing. All of us have the same job. So we're here. We're equal.
Right.
And then this is what we need to do to move forward. But don't forget, we all gonna make mistakes. But as long as we learn from them, then we're good. And a lot of times people don't do that first. They just go in guns blazing. You need to do this and you need to do this. And then that causes more problems on top of the problems that are already there.
I got you. I understand what you're saying. But I think it just that's when it comes to learning or just going to management classes. You have to have some kind of management classes. You can't just throw anybody in a lion's den and expect to, like, go to everybody and just talk the way you think that you're going to get to them to do a certain job or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think you have to have some kind of management classes.
I would agree, but then again, I would disagree. Because, so at our job, we have leadership meetings. We don't
there you go. See?
We don't always have them. We stopped having them as much. Whenever I first became a lead, we weren't really having them.
Right.
And I'm the youngest lead ever there. One of the youngest people on my shift, and they were like, okay, you think you got it? Go. Here, we're giving it to you. Go do it.
Okay.
But the good thing about promoting from within is I've worked alongside these people.
So you basically know something.
I know how to approach these people,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to going from getting someone from outsource, putting them who know nothing about anyone there, and just dropping them in and then just letting them go. Which is one reason why I like promoting from within. It's your peers are moving up. So sometimes in different jobs, that's a problem because you can't separate them being y'all just being peers or being friends or whatever. You can't separate that from the job.
Right. You can't show favoritism. You can't show.
And I suffer from it.
Yeah.
Because some people, I'm like, I give them a little more leeway.
Yeah, you can't do that.
But
Number one rule. I ain't mean to cut you off. Number one rule in management, because I used to be a manager. Number one rule is never be friends with your coworkers. You can be friends, but you have to keep it. You have to limit that when you inside the facility or whenever you at the job. Period.
I can agree with that.
Can't be friends, man.
Well, see, I think you can.
You can,
but
to a certain extent.
There has to be.
Have to have some kind of respect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to have some kind of.
But see, that's why I have to kind of disagree. Like I agree with what you're saying because it's right, but with a person who is actually your friend, it shouldn't take you getting onto them for them to be able to do right. You get what I'm saying? Like, they should respect you as their friend and your boss.
Right.
That way, like, you'd be like, hey, bro, do this.
But you have to also.
Or be like, hey, man, can you do this? They should respect you enough to say, okay, I know he would do it because he's been doing this stuff. And he must really need it because he's asking. But it also goes hand in hand with how you approach people to do it. You have certain people who go, hey, man, I really need this to get done. I done already gave everybody else some sets. They're already bogged down. I see you have a little more room to move around and do whatever. Can you do this for me? Acceptable. What's not acceptable is to walk up, throw something on their desk and be like, do this, and then walk off. But without talking to those people, getting closer to those people, actually becoming somewhat friends
right
with those people, you know what buttons to push and what buttons not to push, as opposed to somebody who just walks up and go, here, do this.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, and I'm gonna disagree on it,
Okay.
and I'll say why. The reason why you cannot be friends when you are a manager or a supervisor, because a friend will actually have to be on the same page with you in order to get the job done. If you, okay, let's say you're in the facility, right? Okay, so you call these people, let's say it's just 5, 6, whatever. You call them your friends, okay? When we talking about being friends, it's like we basically know each other. We know, you know how to talk to each other. You know how to disrespect each other. You know what I'm saying? So if they are your friends, then they should be on the same page with you when you at the job.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But if someone that's, I don't know, that's probably something else, a live wire or something. But anyway, so you have to be on the same page in order to get the job done. So you can't just be friends with people, because people's not gonna they're not gonna be on the same page. They're not gonna say, okay, well, hey man, such and such, do this. And then another thing, you have to know how to approach people when you're a manager and you're a supervisor. It doesn't matter if they're your friends or your family members working with you. You have to have certain a certain language so they can understand and don't take it as don't take it offensive. You know what I'm saying? Because you can tell somebody, hey, do this. That person might take it as like, you're trying to tell me what to do. You see what I'm saying? So they get offended by it. But if you say, but if you use their names, you know what I'm saying? The reason why I'm saying this is because I read this book on leadership. You know what I'm saying? And that's the first thing they say. You have to approach people by their names. You know what I'm saying? So if you say such and such, can you do this? Or such and such, can you take this, and stuff like that? Yeah. So it'd be a whole different vibe when you're at the job.
I still think that you can be friends with them, but there has to be a point where you differentiate.
Right.
Like I've been at a point where I had to be like, okay, bro, like, this is your boss talking. Like, I done did this to a certain extent, and now they done finally said something. I told you, as soon as they say something, what they say is law. And this is how it has to be. I've lost friends because I was over them before.
Right, because they didn't understand, or they took things offensive.
No, they understood. They understood exactly what it was. Because I'm very straightforward. It's not like I'm not going to come to work and, like, there's a time and place for everything.
Right.
Like, if we talking about whatever, whoop-de-woo, cool, we talking about this. But then whenever work is involved, they know, okay, this is work. We on break, it's just us.
Okay.
As soon as we walk back in this door, that's over with. Like, we work first.
Play later.
Yeah. So we all have that understanding. But whenever you have people whenever you have different levels of leadership in the same area, and one of them is more understanding of what we have to do, what we're going through, because they're still relatively new to leadership, and then you have someone else who's been in leadership and not necessarily think that they're above everyone else, but to the point where they know who to talk to, who to say what to, and who not to say something to. So then they pick on the other ones that they know that they can do whatever they want to towards. And then those people come to the one that used to be one of them more recently. They're like, hey man, why is so-and-so doing this to me? Instead of just going to the person who did it.
Right.
And saying, hey, like, what's going on? Why are you treating me like this? You know what I'm saying? Because of a friendship or better word, a better understanding of what we go through. So people are like, oh, don't be friends with them and blah, blah. I'm like, oh, I'll be your friend. I ain't got a problem with that. We can hang out after work. That's cool. But when we at the job, we are at the job.
We got to be on the same page.
And I've always told, and I'll tell anybody at any job, look, we can hang out, we can do whatever. Cool. But if the moment I'ma tell you something, you gonna know automatic it ain't for me, depending on how I say it. Because I'm gonna come at you, hey man, look, we got these turnovers, we need to get this stuff done. Here,
okay.
Like, can you do this? Appreciate you. You get this one, I get the next one.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, yeah. But then you not doing your job, and I come up to you as your friend. Hey, bro, you know they looking at you. Man, I don't care. You know I don't care. All right.
Yeah, I think people just and then, sometimes when they come to work, they be on edge already, man.
Yeah. And then as soon as it comes off,
somebody tell them something.
As soon as it comes off, the veteran don't want them to not like them, so they get me
to do the dirty work.
Because they know that we cool, and they know they'll take it from me, and they'll immediately go off on them. That's why I think it benefits people to be friends or be. I don't want to just keep saying friends, but be closer.
It's not being friends. It's knowing how to manage.
And see, that's what,
because you have to have some kind of what I was gonna say. What's the word I want to say? What's the word, man? What's the word? I'm trying to get it.
Start the
etiquettes.
Etiquette. There you go.
Yeah, you have to have etiquettes in order to manage, supervise. You understand what I'm saying? So, in order to get everybody on the same page, you have to have a way to talk to people, a way to sort of like manipulate, but not manipulate. Because the whole
it's not
point
even
is
manipulation. It's literally
because you want them to do the right thing. You see what I'm saying?
And they know what the right thing is.
Exactly. So we're not gonna sit here and we're gonna call it friends. I wouldn't call it friends.
Yeah, I now that we've talked about it out loud, it's not. It's more. It's not friendship per se. You can still be friends with people, but that itself is not the friendship.
Because you hang out with Aaron at the end of the night, at the end of the day.
Yeah,
that's your friend because you hang out with him at night.
Yeah,
I mean after work.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's cool.
But I can be like.
But I bet you that when he's at the job, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole different ball game. But anyway, since we live, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's going on? I mean, I can't see anything over here because I don't even know how to read this thing. But
so they were just saying that we sounded a little muffled. Did we fix it?
Oh, we sounded muffled?
Key to Life said you sound muffled, and that might be because of this filter right here.
Oh, yeah, because you got the...
It's deep in there.
Yeah. The phone is
okay.
inside the phone.
They said it's better.
Is it better? What about this one right here?
Yeah, because it's the same.
Oh, it's the same.
It's on the same stream. Okay. Same stream. What's going on, Key to Life?
But anyway, did they hear anything?
Yeah, they've been commenting.
Okay. Anything? What they saying?
Let me scroll up real quick.
By the way,
they've just been sending a bunch of love and a bunch of positive vibes, saying that they agree.
For sure. We appreciate y'all. I hope that y'all listen to this episode when we done, and submit your comments on there.
People saying that they like what we're talking about.
Yeah, because we on the on Keep It a Buck podcast, and we talk about stuff that people don't even really talk about. You know what I'm saying?
They said we kings, two young kings.
That's right. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And if you're a male, female, you're a king and queen yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. So let's get
Love
into
back,
let's get into that. How do you approach self, like you yourself? How do you approach
Most of the
yourself?
time, we have to learn how to control our emotions, and
We as in
we have to learn how to control our emotions for as anything, in any situation.
okay.
For as if it's love, if it's anger,
Mm-hmm.
or happiness, or whatever it is emotions. Period. You know what I'm saying? So you have to learn how to do that first in order to be able to approach anybody, or able to be or be able to handle a certain situation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when I talk to myself, like for example, if I see something that's gonna make me angry, or I know that made me angry, then before I approach the person, I'm gonna talk to myself. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm gonna just, prep myself up to, be like, okay, well, this person said this. I'm gonna tell him this, or I'm gonna tell him that. You know what I'm saying? Like going back to the job, co-workers acting up. I talk to myself first before I go talk to you.
I'm glad you just said that.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you just said that.
Okay, why not? What? What's
Because a lot of times being in management, it's it's tough for certain management to say it's a supervisor or a lead or a manager and a director or producer or whatever, whoever their boss is. Say their boss tells them something.
Okay.
Now you're the one who's being told something, and it's something negative that you need to fix.
Okay.
How would you go about trying to fix it or addressing it to the people who need to hear it? And
First of all, I need to know what happened. Like, what was the problem? I mean, you don't have to say anything. It could be anything.
Mm-hmm.
I have to find out by detail what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'll figure it out. Once I figure it out, I'll talk to you about it. Trying to make you understand what happened, whether it was my fault or another coworker's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make sure that we don't have any kind of conflict, any kind of confusion, so we can move on. Because that's the whole point. You can't just sit there and trying to waste your time, and
you can't sit in it.
You can't linger in it.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Can't.
You got to just go ahead, address the issue, move on.
So I like that, but I don't. So this is how I would do it. First, I would get the information first.
Exactly.
I would internalize it before I would say anything to anyone else. And I'm going to tell you why. I've had people who were over me in almost every other aspect of my work history.
Right.
And everyone handles things differently.
Right.
Some of them get told bad news. They walk up and be like, hey, this is what's going on. It's just nonchalant. Don't care. Some of them go overboard, like, well, we need to fix this, and we have to do it now. And then when we try to ask questions about it, no, we just need to fix it. But we don't know what we're fixing. We're trying to get more information on it, which is why I get the information, I internalize it, I think it over.
Okay.
Before I say anything, because I don't want to say anything that doesn't need to be said. I need to go in clear-headed. Okay, this is what they said. let me look first and see, okay, that's what they're talking about. How am I gonna fix this? Cool, I got it. Hey, we need to have a meeting, everybody.
And address the issue.
This is what was said. I've noticed this happening. Does anyone have any ideas on how to fix it? Cool. Everybody says their ideas. Okay, I like y'all's idea. This is my idea. Give the idea. What do y'all think will work the best? That way, it's not just you going in saying, hey, they said this is what's wrong. Don't do this. But what if we have to do this? Or what if this is the only way we've ever been taught to do this?
Right.
Now everyone has an input, as opposed to they said this, so I'm telling you exactly what they told me, or they said something to me and now I'm upset, and instead of me thinking about it and calming down, now I'm coming at you with all this rage that they came at me with.
Yeah.
Forgetting I didn't like it when they did that to me. So do you think that they gonna like it when you do it to them?
Of course not.
But a lot of times, without taking that moment, that initial moment, saying, "Okay, hold on, let me take a step back, figure out what's going on for real, think about this first, and then speak." Because a lot of times it goes, "I don't like their shoes. Tell them to take it off." Hey, they don't like your shoes. Take your shoes off.
Wait, they really get on your shoes, man?
Well, no, but that's just, a safe example. And then they're like, I'm wearing the same shoes as someone else. But you don't like my shoes? Now it's a problem.
I mean, I look at it like this. I step out the... Yeah, I don't think that's going to be on there. But I step out the... I put myself out the equation.
Mm-hmm.
And look at the whole picture. Even the army is not that organized. And they known for being organized.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So I look at it as like every corporation is not perfect.
No.
The inside is not perfect. They will be known, or they will be known as being good deliverers or deliverers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know the conflict that they have to go through in order to make that happen.
Yeah. It's
You know what I'm saying?
Swan theory. If you look at a swan as it's going across the water and all of its beauty and elegance, you would think, man, that thing is really going. That is great. That is awesome. But underneath that water, them feet is just kicking like crazy.
Yeah.
Like life or death. If I stop kicking, I'm going to go under.
That's true.
But you never see that. You just see the top. Or the front, if you will. So
Shout outs to chocolate milk. You heard me? Man, I'm telling you, man.
You and this chocolate milk. But yeah, swan theory. I learned that at an old job, and the build break build. But it just goes to show that all the stuff, whether it's work, relationship wise, or whatever, all the stuff is connected.
You know, a couple of episodes ago, we talked about relationships.
We did.
That's what it comes to. You know, what it comes down to. Relationships. You got to have better relationships with people. You got to communicate, period. You know what I'm saying? You have to pretty much not test the waters all the time, but you know, have some kind of discernment towards whoever, you know, is coming to the job or the school or whatever, you know what I'm saying, to be able to work things out before it blows up and, you know, and become a big problem. You feel what I'm saying?
On that note,
well, we about to end it? That's it?
No.
Okay,
No.
on that note.
That is
This is the end of the podcast.
Like, comment, subscribe. But no.
Hey, did y'all like the music?
But yeah, on what you were saying, mental health.
Yes, let's talk about that.
We gonna talk about that. So,
yeah, you know what? I was thinking about something just now when you say that.
well, what is it?
Go ahead.
No.
I think it's gonna lead to that because I will bring it up.
Okay, so
mental health.
Okay, so mental health. So
Okay.
today, I was talking to some people, and they were like, "Man, what's wrong with you?" And I was like, "Man, I've been out of it for like 6-7 months." No, you haven't. This is the front. Like, I'm always this way because I've noticed if I'm down, the entire morale and the spirit of the department is down. And don't nobody like that.
Yeah, I seen that before, man.
So I was just like, man, my mental health has just not been there. First thing that happened after that moment, I was like, man, my mental health. And they were like, what? Ain't nothing wrong with your mental health. That's a problem. For a few reasons. A lot of people will flat out tell you,
right,
hey man, I got problems, I got mental health problems, or they'll give you what it is. And more oftentimes, because we don't know what to say, we just dismiss it. And that could have been our moment to, oh man, to tell me more about that. You might realize something about yourself that you never knew.
Not just that, but
or help someone that's going through something because you've went through that and you've made it through it.
But people don't care.
But people don't care.
They don't care.
Mental health is a really big thing. And touching on it, talking about the Nicki Minaj thing and Joe Budden last episode, where she was talking about being bullied and all this other stuff, and he was like, bullied? Really? I feel a certain way about it, and he does too, because Joe has been very open about his mental instability throughout his career. But when people say I'm being bullied, or mental health, or I'm not in a good place, or all this, we're too quick to just dismiss it and not go into it. And I want to know why. Like, we keep begging society to be more open, and then as soon as we open up, society is like, nah, we're not talking about that right now. We on something else. And I don't understand. Either you're going to accept it and do something to help, or do something at all, or you just don't want to talk about it. Is that somewhere where you were going?
No, I was more thinking about justification. Like how people justify mental health. For example, you know, what happened a few weeks ago in Texas
With the shooting.
with the shooting of Walmart at Walmart. They justified the shooter because they say he was had mental health. I mean, mental issues. So
I don't. Okay.
I don't know if I went somewhere with that, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just saying, you can't just blame mental health on people like that.
So this is. I've talked to a few people about this, and I've been vocal about this on Twitter.
Yeah.
Whenever you see all these news stations and all these different reports telling you about these people who are doing these things,
right?
I don't like it. It's so whenever people, whenever video games were getting at their peak and everything was, you have to be rated M for mature or E for everyone, and they actually paid attention to that.
Yeah.
Which one thing, they don't pay attention to that now. But anyway, they were saying, oh, video games are making our kids violent and all that other stuff. That's not true. So this is where I'm going with that. They have a point, because life is like a video game to some of these people. It's all about getting that recognition, getting that little badge that pops up whenever you get an accomplishment, or an achievement.
I get that. So
whenever they do these things, like plan on doing school shootings or talking to their girl, this one boy, they busted in on him and took him to jail because he had texted his ex-girlfriend talking about, oh, this is an easy target. I can get 100 kills and blah, 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 and they'll never forget me. I'll go in the history books. And then what's the next thing that they did? They sent a picture of the person. They put his name in lights to him. And he didn't even have to do it. And now he's in the history books as being one of those people who was going to be a school shooter or whatever kind of shooter he was planning on being. Now, I have a problem with that because you're giving them what they want and they don't even have to do it. Or because they want you to think about them. They don't want you to ever forget them.
Right.
It used to be bad whenever people were like, oh, you just want your 15 seconds of fame or 15 minutes of fame. Like, I'm going to do something stupid and make a video of it and put it on the internet. Now I'm famous for 15 minutes. Well, that's not enough now. They won't want 15 minutes. They want to do something that they ain't never going to forget this.
Right. And
they won't, because we get them and we put them on this pedestal. They're like, oh, this person did this. No one's ever gonna not remember whenever Batman was in the movie theaters.
Right.
And the dude dressed up like the Joker and went in there shooting
and shot everybody up.
He will be known forever.
Right.
And that's what he wanted.
But like I said, I take myself out of the equation, and I look at things in a different perspective. I blame the parents. Whether you was raised without or with your parents, I blame it on the parents.
I can't.
I have to, because when a kid is disrespectful in school, it's because they don't have home training. I don't care how many videos you play. To me, this is my thing. Go ahead. I don't care how many video games you play. You see what I'm saying? The reason why your kid is sitting at home on the couch playing video games every day, that's because you letting him. The parents, you letting him play all day because you want to, quote unquote, go do your own thing. You know what I'm saying? While he's playing or she's playing games or whatever. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I kind of agree, but I can't blame them.
I have to.
I can't, because it. So
I have to, and then you're talking about people that that's been playing video games for years, since video games became what you call it, online.
Mm-hmm.
Since they started being online, you know, you can get, you know, you got the headphones, you got the wireless remotes, you online, you dealing with people from all over the world, this and that. These people, that's all they do. So
that's why I can't blame the parents.
You have to, because
do you know?
Because
do you
they
know
start
how,
from a early age.
Do you know how easy it is for people to access anything?
The parents.
No. Do you know?
The parents. If your parents doesn't buy you, if they don't buy you,
Nope.
a PlayStation, you would not have a game.
No.
You would not be playing games at your house.
No, that don't mean nothing. Every school now, whenever you sign your
now,
every school,
we talking about now,
from my generation up to now, has a computer class. You have to be proficient at using a computer.
But it's that the purpose is for you to learn
that
computer skills.
That's the purpose, correct? And the parents, even if they are oblivious to whatever it is, you can type in on YouTube as a child what you want to find out. You can put parental blocks. You can have stuff cut off. It don't matter. As hard as you try, if they want to find it, they gonna find it. You can put in on YouTube how to take a parental block off of whatever, and because it's a regular video, ain't got nothing bad, or it's within the parameters, they can watch that whole video and then go in there and change it themselves.
I get it.
And that ain't got nothing to do with the parents. That's because of the children. Kids want to do that because you set this rule up. Why? I'm gonna do what I want to do. And they say, oh, well, you gotta discipline your kid. There are different ways of disciplining your kid. Some parents, and I don't think this is right, they put them on them little kid leashes. You know what I'm talking about? Where they put them on and they treat them like dogs until they're, teenagers. And then whenever they finally let them off the leash, you get confused about them acting like an animal.
Look, this is not accurate at all. Okay?
Yeah.
But the ratio changed. When I was coming up, the percentage of adolescents was lower than now.
Just because you have kids having kids.
You know what I'm saying?
You literally have kids having kids.
Now it's
in
like
my graduating class, one of my classmates had 3 children, 2 of which were in school, and one of them who had just been born not long ago.
You know what I'm saying?
So you have children having children, taking care of children.
So the parents, going back to that, the parents.
So you can't blame a kid.
The young parents.
But you can't blame a kid for doing what they, the only thing they know.
You have to, man.
You can't.
I'm not saying like if one of your kids kills somebody.
You said the parents.
The parents.
So these parents of this girl.
I blame the parents.
These parents of this girl did everything correctly.
Okay.
Teen pregnancy still happens.
Of course.
Only takes one mess up.
Of course.
So now she's a kid who has a kid.
Okay.
Does that still apply?
Yes.
The parents messed it up because she's a kid.
Yeah. She made a big mistake.
But it's a kid being a parent.
But it's a parent raising a child.
No.
That's my whole point. I'm generalizing the whole situation.
You can't generalize it.
You have to.
You can't.
You have to.
You cannot.
Because you are a parent. That's your tag. That's your name tag. Parent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm a parent in 12th. I'm a parent in 6th grade. I have a child. I'm a parent.
Yeah.
But I don't know nothing.
Of course. That's my point.
But you can't fault them for
That's
not
my
knowing.
point. So if you have an 18-year-old that's now that was conceived by another 18-year-old, or you know what I'm saying? That parent doesn't know anything, because at the same time you're learning how to be a parent and how to be an adult.
Then
So
how can you blame that parent?
I blame that parent for that kid being a Walmart shooter.
You can't do that.
How old that kid was? 22?
But
21?
you can't blame the parents for doing it, man.
I'm not saying I'm blaming the parents for him going shooting up the place. I'm not blaming the parents for that. I'm blaming them for them not disciplining him the right way.
Even if
they did,
all it takes is one mistake. We both agreed on that, right?
Yes, I get that.
But then you become a parent. You can't say, "Oh, I'm a blame that parent's parents."
And when you say mental issue,
Yeah,
you justifying it.
it may. That's the justification, yes, that they use because they're mentally unstable or whatever they say. But
Come on, man.
That's
you
not
pure
what
evil.
it is.
That's all. You just pure evil.
They're not pure evil.
They got to be
No, some of them are.
pure evil.
I don't want to say pure evil.
I would not even call him racist.
I
That's
don't want to
pure
say it's
evil.
pure evil, but you can't.
The reason why they
blame the parents for
listen. The reason why they say that he was aiming at Latinos and this and that is because that's what they wanted to say. They wanted to say, but he went in there shooting up everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Didn't care what color they were. You know what I'm saying? Because I guarantee that in between those 30 something people that got shot, there was a black African American there, or some Caucasian person in there. You see what I'm saying? So I wouldn't even call it racist.
So whose fault is it that he wouldn't start shooting?
What?
Whose fault is it that he was shooting?
What you mean? Whose fault?
Whose
It's his
fault?
fault. He did that.
Okay.
He's evil.
So it's his fault that he went in there, he started shooting. Okay, he owns that. Then what were you saying about the parents? Because they didn't raise him right?
At some point,
Because if someone
At
is
some
pure,
point-
if someone's pure evil, it don't matter what their parents do. They still gonna do it.
at some point, your parents had something to do with that. You know what I'm saying? You had to have some kind of resemblance towards your parents because they was telling you what to do.
But he ain't shoot his parents.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like going back to the job. You know what I'm saying? When you a lead,
Yeah, but the
and you
people
tell
who,
somebody a certain way how to do things, they're going to take it the wrong way.
But the people who go in and they shoot their parents, they will tell you, I had resentment toward my parents. Not, I hate my parents, now I'm going to go shoot up Walmart.
No, not saying that's not. See, it doesn't come from that, but the anger, it builds up.
Yeah.
That anger builds up. So at the same time, it goes beyond that. You know what I'm saying? It goes beyond that. The mind, it takes you there.
Mental health.
I'm not saying it's not a mental issue.
The mind takes you there.
That's not an issue though.
Mental health.
That's not an issue though. It's not an issue.
No, it's an issue until they get to that point.
That was pure evil.
No,
What you did.
listen to what you just said. You said their mind takes them there, right?
Yeah. Your resemblance towards whatever happened to you when you was a kid.
Now, what happens if they go back in time and they look and they're like, oh, well, he did say this and he did say that. And then now it's a mental issue. But it's too late now because now he's pure evil because he shot somebody.
He's pure evil, man.
Nah.
I can't justify him for. I'm not trying.
I'm not going to give him no
saying.
justification.
No.
But what I'm saying is I'm not going to blame the parents for something that person did. Because you can have perfect parents. They can do everything they're supposed to do. And it only takes one mistake for you to mess your whole life up.
Okay, let me say this then. There is no perfect parents.
No.
You see what I'm saying? So there you go.
Yeah.
It comes from there. It comes from the parents.
No.
It has to.
No.
That's the way I see it.
That's like saying I didn't have perfect parents. That's why I work at UNUMass.
No, that's you justifying.
That you just justified it.
Your wrongdoing.
You just justified it.
No, I didn't.
You
I just said you don't have no perfect parents.
We have no perfect parents. Therefore, whatever it is, it's their fault.
Because nobody's perfect.
Yeah, nobody is.
Okay, everybody's parents don't know the same thing.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody was raised different. You know, and some people was raised with only a mom.
So is it their fault?
You know what I'm saying?
Is it their parents' fault for not being able to raise them correctly?
That's what I'm saying. So if a kid having a kid, it's their parents' fault because they don't know anything.
Whose parents?
Listen, I'm responsible for my kids doing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? If one of my kids get disrespectful with anybody, that's because they saw me disrespecting somebody. You see what I'm saying?
Not necessarily.
Or, so why do you think that he went shot up the people? Because
I'm not even just talking about that now. I'm talking about period. It doesn't have to do with just the parents. Or
give me a good one too.
My son kicked a boy in the face.
Okay.
He ain't never seen me kick nobody in the face.
Don't y'all play games and kick somebody in the face?
Never have I played a game where he sees me kick somebody in the face.
Well, what's that video you showed me the other day? You kicking somebody?
He ain't never seen it. I'm not saying that I've never done it, but what I'm saying is, you can't blame a parent saying, "Oh, you need to raise him better." You acting like I'm going to my son saying, "Kick him in the face." I ain't never said that.
Have you ever tell your son not to let nobody, bully him or or just like play him or anything?
Mm-hmm.
That's his reaction. That's just his reaction. You know.
So it's my fault.
Well, not saying that it's your fault.
That's exactly what
that
you
he
said.
did that, but it comes from you.
No,
because you had to taught him something like that to defend
I ain't never
himself.
taught him to kick him in the kick nobody in the face.
No, that's the way he done it.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? But
that's what I've been saying this whole time.
The concept come from you. Don't let nobody put their hands on you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. So if somebody put their hands on your kid, his reaction is not. It might not come from you. You see what I'm saying? But
you still don't blame the parents.
No, his doing might not come from you, but his reaction does.
But so you blame the parents.
I still blame the parents.
You can't.
Ask the people what they think. They can hear you.
They can hear me, but no, I don't think anyone's in there right now.
No one's coming.
But you can't blame the parents. My dad raised me, or my parents raised me.
Okay.
I have kids. I raised them. Heaven forbid, as my children grow up, they have kids at a young age. Right? While they're still children, teenage pregnancy, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know. I'm still teaching them everything that is as right as I can do it. But depending on how a person, whoever they are, takes those lessons and applies it to their life, that's not on me. I can tell you every day, don't touch fire, it's hot. But if my concept of hot and your concept of hot is two different things, you can still touch it. That ain't got nothing to do with me being a bad parent. Don't touch that, it's hot. You still gonna do it.
Right. You do it, you get burned, right.
But then you be like, oh, well, I touched it too long. Let me go touch it again, but not as long as I did the first time. That's not on me as a parent. That's like, don't touch it. I'm going to move it out of the way so you can't do it. You as a person, going to do whatever you got to do what you want to do.
Let me say this.
Because if a person makes up in their mind that they're going to do something,
we're not talking about everything you do. We're not talking about everything your kid is doing.
When you say blame the parents, you are
certain things.
No, when you say I blame the parents, that means everything, because they don't know anything that their parents don't teach them, as according to what you were saying.
What kind of mindset you have to go shoot up all these people?
That's their mindset.
That one thing. That's what that one thing.
That's their one mistake.
You know what I'm saying?
They might have never shot a gun before in their life until that moment. But like I said, they see this on TV. They see this on their phone, on the news. and people are getting all this recognition for it. Social media is putting it constantly. This is the story. We're gonna talk about this person all day long. Oh, they getting talked about a lot. What did they do? Oh man, that's wrong. But I could do it, and I could do it better, and they'll talk about me longer. That could be a mental thing.
You know,
I'm not saying that's what it is, but
we're
in a society where if someone gives you that moment when they're like, "Hey, man, something's going on with me and I can't fix it."
I might be wrong for saying this, but I'm gonna say it. But I feel like the only people that really have mental issues when you see them doing certain things, for as violence and stuff like that, it would be, army members, like somebody from the army or something.
I can't say that.
You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen a lot of scenarios where
they do have it a lot.
Where they come from war, and they have mental issues because of what happened in war.
But I can't say it's just them.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like they the only ones. I mean, I know I did say the only ones, but most,
because of what PTSD stands for, post-traumatic stress disorder. Anything that happened before this moment.
But it's rare when you see it from somebody that's just living out here.
Nah, man. You see it a lot more than you know. You ever been
No.
You have. You ever been walking in a store and someone's kid is being bad and like got their hands on stuff they know they're not supposed to, and their parent reaches to get the thing out of their hand and they jump?
Okay. Because
usually
they know that they're about
to get slapped or smacked or whatever. That's a form of PTSD.
Yeah.
Something has happened before. And now
it causes you to react that way.
And you have to react that way.
Even
right?
dogs have that. You know that?
Dogs have it.
Yeah.
Women who have been in abusive relationships, they have it.
Yeah.
Because like you get close to somebody and then you move too quick and hey, what you doing? You okay?
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, well, I was in a relationship where so-and-so used to do this and blah, 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 blah.
They might not tell you that, you know what I'm saying? But they do.
And they don't want to tell you that because they don't want you to look at them different.
They won't tell you.
Mental health.
Yeah, they won't tell you.
And a lot of times, because they know if they tell you, that's going to scare them off. I'm not going to tell them. But we see stuff like this all the time, and we do not address it until there's a shooting or whatever, and then that's when they be like, oh, it's a mental health thing, and blah, blah. We don't want to believe it then.
Yeah.
The reason we don't want to believe it is because they just did something very evil.
Yeah.
But that could have been years upon years of something brewing in here, and he asking for help or trying to get to the point to ask for help, and don't nobody want to hear that. I'm not justifying what he did. I'm not saying that this is what happened, but a lot of times in similar situations, before it even gets to that point, people are crying for help.
Everybody's crying for help.
And we don't want to hear it.
Because they don't care.
We too busy glorifying twerking videos and all this other stuff that has nothing to do with anything. And then people sitting right next to us in a room have all these issues, and we think we know them. And we know nothing.
And they smile at you and everything.
And you taking the front.
You don't even know they got a mental issue.
Whenever they do the interviews of the people in the community who know them,
I was just talking to you about.
They always say he was such a nice kid. He never did anything bad. They never knew because they didn't ask. They didn't look past the facade of, oh, hey, how you doing, Miss Johnson, and blah blah blah. They don't know because they put up the act.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying.
And they're holding it in for all this time. And like you said, it could have been building for years until he was like, man, that's it. I'm just finna do something and they gonna remember me.
Yeah.
And it's horrible that this is the thing that they do, but they do it. And now they're like, oh man, I'm famous now. They'll never forgive me. They're gonna put me in the history
I don't know
books.
if they have this already, but I'm gonna just put it out there. You know, just hope that that somebody is doing it, to start, evaluating students and even people from like corporations that's moving, that's very important, that's making things go round. You know what I'm saying? To get evaluated on mental issues and stuff like that.
I don't know how we would do it.
Even I heard a friend of mine. She's going to school and stuff like that, and she was telling me about that they have this financial class that they doing. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? So if you have financial classes and mental health evaluations and different things like that, you might be able to like have a better society. You know what I'm saying?
The problem with that, from looking at it, no one wants to go get evaluated. Because that sounds like,
because they feel
I'm going to see what I'm going to show you what's wrong with me.
Right.
And
yeah, I understand.
They don't want to accept the fact that something could be wrong.
Yeah, and I hear people say, well, I don't want to go talk to anybody because they're gonna admit me. You know what I'm saying?
They're gonna think something's really wrong.
They're gonna think something's really wrong because of the way that I am, or this and that. But it's not. That's not really like the real.
But until we fix the fear,
because it's a fear.
Of it. Because when you look at it, whenever you think someone could say, "Oh man, I have mental health," the only thing that you know about when they say mental health now is, "Oh, you finna go shoot something up."
Yeah, exactly.
And then you start to distance yourself.
Or
from
you
that.
look a certain type. You know what I'm saying? They start thinking, "Oh man, this dude right here can."
Like they were like, "Man, I got a little mental health," blah 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 blah. He was wearing a trench coat the other day, and that's crazy.
Hey, man,
but people do.
You ain't gonna never believe, man. But there's people out there that think that certain people is that way because of the way they carry themselves.
I believe it, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
I like this topic because it gets people talking about it, and we're gonna talk about this again, like for real. Because when you look into, or when you try to look into what causes this, it's a cornucopia of things. A lot of times people say, "Man, my life is great. Something's just wrong."
Yeah.
Or, "Man, I grew up like this," or "I didn't have everything that we needed. We had to struggle," or "As a kid, I had to help raise my family," or whatever the reason is. That's why I said I can't blame the parents, because it's not them. Each person, whenever it comes down to it, each person has a point where they can say, "Hey, I got a problem." But because of how we look at that problem, they don't want to. And then whenever their problem comes out in the open, it's often too late.
I'm gonna just say this: certain parents, they let their kids do anything they want.
They do. I agree with that.
Certain parents don't raise their kids right, or never did raise their kids right. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking about those parents. Because like I say, there's no perfect parents.
There's no perfect person.
There's no perfect person. You know what I'm saying? But the people or the parents that actually did things to teach you a better way on being or just taking care of different situations or whatever, I give a shout out to them for doing the right thing with the kids.
But it's still up to the kid.
You know what I'm saying? Not saying that I will blame them for what the kid.
Just like it's still up to the parent.
You know what I'm saying? But
it's up to the parent to teach them.
Right.
But at the same time, it's also up to the kid to listen.
That's why you have to stay in your kid's life. Even when they, over 21, 22, 23, 24, whatever,
Yeah.
you have to stay in their life. Because you don't stop learning.
Never.
My father is 65. You understand? So I'm still learning from him.
Mm-hmm.
When I talk to him, I learn. You know what I'm saying? And I still follow his footsteps. You know? And so that makes me the person that I am now. Because of the way they taught me, because the things that they taught me. You know what I'm saying? And if I have a mental issue, I would definitely address it with a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Or with a psychiatrist or get some counseling or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit here and be like, okay, well, I think I got mental issues, I'm gonna see if I can deal with it myself. No. You need help. And people who have that fear to go, that, they have this fear that they don't want to go to the doctor or to go talk to anybody because they feel like they're going to admit them. That fear needs to go. They have to find a way to get that out of their head. You know what I'm saying? Because this is all a mental problem. It's a mental issue.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know you have mental issue. When you don't want to go talk to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Just to close this topic, what's your last comment on that? On mental issues, mental health.
If you catch yourself down, or how you feel about things fluctuates a lot, talk to somebody about it.
I agree.
If you're at home and you're doing things that make you happy and you're not happy, talk to somebody about it.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it could not be you. You're not the only person who goes, oh, I love listening to music, I'm gonna listen to music today, and it don't work. Something's not connecting. That doesn't mean that, oh, something's wrong with you. That just means, okay, this is different. Let me look into this. Just like if somebody says, oh, Dr. Pepper is better than Coke. Okay, I've never had a Dr. Pepper or a Coke. You're going to look into it to see which one is which.
Right.
Same thing about yourself. Look into yourself and then
pretty much evaluate yourself.
You evaluate yourself, and then if you get to a point where you're like, I still don't know, ask somebody.
Yeah, I agree with that. But let me add this too. And this is like, don't have anything to do with mental issues, but, and I've been trying to get religious and nothing like that, but God don't want you to see you sad. God is love, so I don't think He want to see you sad.
No,
I think He want to see us happy. He want to see us smiling. You know what I'm saying? Enjoying life. Period. Don't want to see nobody sad. You feel me?
Yeah.
So that would be my last thing on that.
Oh yeah.
Episode what? 13?
Episode 13
in the books.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
We finally had a good moment where we were going back and forth.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna let you win, man.
And it's not about.
Hey, Grizzly.
It's not about winning.
Listen,
for me.
Felipe. We gonna agree to disagree.
It's not about me winning, man. It's.
Of course not, man. I'm just saying.
My purpose is to bring light to a subject that it hits close to home for me.
I got to. Everything we talk about in here is something that people like regular, like us,
Mm-hmm.
and like the people that's online right now, talk about amongst themselves, but never be out there televised or or publicized. You feel what I'm saying? So this is things that we talk about in our homes, things that we talk about at our jobs. Right. You know what I'm saying? We bringing it out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why we're looking for you guys to, support this. And if you want to get into the conversation, we're gonna try to make this thing. We're gonna try to go live every once in a while to see if we can get some comments and see if we get some more folks to come jump in the back on the bandwagon. You know what I'm saying?
Input from the people who are actually listening. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, everybody take care of yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only one you.
This is the bad guy signing out. On that note,
don't get sniped. But no.
If your friends say, look, I got mental problems, look into it.
Look,
do not ignore anything, man.
Don't judge them, but listen.
Yeah. Get them some help. Get her some help. You know what I'm saying?
Man, people just don't understand.
We out.
Thin line between every move and decision you make. You dig that? They call it free will. To me, that's the only thing I feel like God can't control. I may be wrong. I showed love, but it rarely was appreciated. Funny how something so simple gets so complicated. A lie's a lie, no matter.
The most anticipated show of your week. Ladies and gentlemen, the Keep It A Bug podcast.
Light a bone, then get elevated. I stuck to the code, others deviated. If I'm real and they fake, we are not related. I dissect the beat, then become the cadence. If being real was a cologne, that's my favorite phrase.
The most anticipated show of your week. Ladies and gentlemen, the Keep It A Bug podcast.
Money got involved and money became a problem that we could never solve. I had friends turn foe for the love of it. I never switched, let karma be the judge. There's a thin line between love and hate. Thin line between real and fake. Thin line between lies and the truth. Yeah. Thin line between
the most anticipated show of your week. Ladies and gentlemen, the Keep It A Bug podcast.